Most people think they fail diets because they lack willpower. But science tells a completely different story, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why your brain and body are literally working against you every time you try to lose weight, and more importantly, what to do about it. Let's start with something most fitness influencers never talk about. Your body doesn't want to be lean. From an evolutionary standpoint, fat is survival. When you cut calories, your hypothalamus detects the energy deficit and triggers a cascade of hormonal responses designed to make you stop. Leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, drops dramatically within just 72 hours of dieting. At the same time, ghrelin, your hunger hormone, spikes higher than your baseline. This isn't weakness. This is biology fighting back. Studies from the University of Melbourne showed that these hormonal shifts can persist for over a year after a diet ends, which is why people regain weight even after successfully losing it. Now layer on top of that what happens psychologically. Most diets operate on restriction, and restriction triggers what psychologists call ironic process theory. The more you tell your brain not to think about something, the more it fixates on it. Tell yourself you can't have pizza, and your dopamine system lights up every time you walk past a pizza place. This is why clean eating cultures that demonize entire food groups have a 95% long-term failure rate. Not because the food is the problem, but because the psychological framework is broken. Then there's the metabolic adaptation piece, and this one is brutal. When you drop calories, your body doesn't just burn stored fat to compensate. It also downregulates your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is all the unconscious movement you do every day. You fidget less, you walk slower, you sit more. Research from the National Institutes of Health showed that metabolic adaptation can reduce your total daily energy expenditure by 200 to 500 calories, meaning your body literally becomes more efficient at surviving on less, making fat loss progressively harder the longer you diet. Here's where bodybuilding science diverges from mainstream diet culture. Elite physique athletes don't go on diets. They manage energy balance as a long-term system, using diet breaks, reverse dieting, and refeeds to strategically reset leptin levels and prevent metabolic adaptation from stalling progress permanently. A 2020 study in the International Journal of Sport Nutrition showed that 2-week diet breaks during a caloric deficit actually resulted in greater fat loss over a 16-week period compared to continuous dieting, because the body's adaptive mechanisms were periodically reset. And then there's the identity problem, the deepest psychological root of diet failure that almost nobody addresses. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, puts it perfectly: behavior change that doesn't align with identity never sticks. When someone says, "I'm on a diet," they're framing it as a temporary deviation from their real self, and that framing guarantees failure. But when someone shifts to, "I am a person who eats to perform," the behavior becomes an expression of who they are, not a punishment they're enduring. Neuroscience backs this up. Identity-based habits engage the prefrontal cortex differently than rule-based restriction, making them dramatically more sustainable under stress and social pressure. So here's the practical takeaway. If you want a diet to actually work, you need to stop cutting everything and start building a caloric structure that includes diet breaks every 8 to 12 weeks. You need to protect your NEAT by staying conscious of your daily movement even outside the gym. You need to reframe food from good versus bad to tools for a specific outcome. And most critically, you need to stop identifying as someone who is dieting and start identifying as someone who has a relationship with food that serves your goals permanently. Diets don't fail because you're weak. They fail because they're designed without understanding the biology, the metabolism, or the psychology of the human system they're trying to change. Fix the framework and the results follow.